To be honest about where you are and to do work with sincerity actually helps to understand that failures come with every aspect of your job, but to still care about it.
Correct.
And once you care about it, it shows.
Like
it always shows.
It always shows. You don't have to. People can tell when you give it your best, and it has nothing to do, because you can give it your best and still fail because of circumstances beyond your control or from inexperience for whatever reason. But as long as it's your best you're giving, people can tell that you're truly giving your best. And
I think just being sincere and honest and like giving your best, people see right through it.
Welcome to Negotiation Secrets. This is your #1 podcast where we teach people how to negotiate, mainly professional women. I have people from different parts of the world, different industries, different careers at different stages in their lives to talk about their experience so we can learn how to negotiate from them. I'm doing a series with Gen Zs, and this is the first of 3 series where I would just have a conversation with people who are younger just to get the mindset of how they negotiate and how they navigate through life. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Isumeme. I'm an internal medicine physician. I teach women how to negotiate. So today I have one of the Gen Zs with me in the house. Her name is Gazala. Gazala, do you mind introducing yourself to my audience?
Sure. Thank you so much for having us, Dr. Gloria.
Of course.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Yes.
So my name is Ghazala Parker, and I am, as you call, a Gen Z. To keep it short and simple, I would say that I've just started in my career. I think I'm 3 years old in my career now. Okay. And I work as a PR professional.
So PR is?
Public relations.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It is the extended arm of marketing and media.
Oh, okay.
So we help companies technically shine.
Oh, you help companies shine?
Yeah, we help them be out there with their announcements, and also when there's a crisis, we are their go-to.
So how did you get into public relations? And you say it's PR management, you called it, right? Or
it's public relations, yeah.
Okay, so how did you get into public relations?
So it's a funny story.
Tell me.
When I was a child, I always wanted to be a police officer.
You're kidding me.
No.
Why?
That was my dream.
Why did you want to be a police officer?
Because, the uniform and everything, and I'm like,
you like power, Gazala?
I do. I do, because I used to watch, so when I was a kid, there was this show called CID.
Yeah.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Every Friday, we would watch it with the family.
Yeah.
And they would go around like solving crimes.
Yes.
I'm like, when I grow up, that's what
you
I
wanted to do. Solve crimes.
Solve crimes, catch the bad guys,
yes.
put them in.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, it was the highlight of every Friday to like sit down with my family and watch
just watch it. And so you wanted to be a police officer.
I wanted to be a police officer.
So what happened?
And then I realized I have to move back to my country because I can't become a police officer here.
So you were born in the UAE?
Yes, I'm born and brought up here.
Okay, and where's your family from?
From India.
Because you're not from here, you can't be a part of the force. You have to go back to India. Oh.
And I'm like,
you haven't really lived in India. Exactly. It will be hard for you to.
I've never really lived there. I've been to India twice in my life.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand it.
I wouldn't understand it at all. So I'm like, okay, it's time to switch careers.
Yes.
I mean, no,
it's not like you started. Yeah,
I didn't start, but in my head, I'm like, I'm already there.
Correct.
So then I was always drawn towards people industry, people service. Okay. And for the longest time, I then wanted to get into hospitality.
Okay.
Because I thought I would get into hotel management.
Yeah.
And when I was starting out, which was 2018, there was some scope, but it was too niche a field.
Okay.
So I went broader. I'm like, okay, I'll go with management in general.
Right. And then narrow down as needed.
Narrow it down once I start learning more and, get started.
Yeah.
And when I was so management is my first major, and we had an option to major in a second field as well when I was at university.
Yeah.
And I wanted to create a field, so I picked public relations, and I absolutely fell in love with the whole media, advertising, the whole aspect of bringing campaigns to life.
Yeah.
And when I then started looking for a job, I didn't even touch management. I'm like, public
you already
relations.
found what you wanted, so why search for something else?
So I went with that, and that's how I started in public relations.
Okay.
I think it was funny because I had my job before I had my degree, And it was through my professor. He was like, there's a company that's hiring. Do you want to try? And at that time, I was volunteering at Expo.
So Expo is because this podcast, people listen to it all over the world.
Right.
So what is Expo?
So Expo was basically the exhibition that takes place every 5 years, and all the countries from around the world take part in it.
Yes.
And it was being hosted by UAE in 2020, 2021. Because of COVID, it got moved by a year.
Yeah.
I was at Expo at that time. I was just volunteering to, just help out. And that's when I took my call for an interview with an actual live background.
Yes.
And yeah, that's how I started. So when I started in purely tech and finance PR.
Yeah.
That was and I stayed there for 2 years, and then I moved on to lifestyle and hospitality PR afterwards.
In the same company?
No, different company.
So you moved fast?
I stayed there for 2 years and then I moved.
Yes. For what the statistics show is that if you want to grow fast in your career, you have to do 2 to 3 years in a role before you move on to the next role. If you stay too long, you're doing 10 years in a particular role, there's only how far you can grow, because what's the lifespan of your working career? So if you do 10, 15 years in a row, you're never going to grow really fast. You may become very proficient. You would know the ins and outs of that job, which also has its advantages, but you're not going to grow very fast.
That's something that I agree with, and that was my reason to move jobs, because when I started, I was purely into finance and tech.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's good. I learned a lot. That job was a blessing. The mentors were amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm still in touch with them. So nothing like it.
It wasn't bad blood.
Yeah. No, nothing. No bad blood at all. But I'm like, there's only 2 industries that I'm touching right now. I have absolutely no idea what's happens in the lifestyle and hospitality sector, which is technically massive here. I'm like, I have zero idea as to how campaigns run in that sector. So I'm like, it's about time I learn. And my whole idea and motive was that if I fail now, it's completely fine, because my parents are here, my siblings are here, so financially they can still support me. But if I make a move when I'm, I don't know, later 5 years down the line, my parents would have moved, which they did now.
Oh, your parents have moved back home?
Yeah, they've moved back home. So I'm like, if I want to take a risk, I might as well take a risk when I have that back.
When you have the support.
Yeah, when I have the support, when I don't really have those big bills. So I'm like, okay, if I fail and I'm absolutely bad at it, at least A, I learn.
Yeah.
B, I won't really suffer as such.
Yes.
And I can make a move really quick.
Yes. So those are some of the principles I live my life by, right? So I just had an episode where I was talking to Corinna David. Yeah, and I was telling her that when I make decisions in life, I ask myself, what's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
Right. So I think we share similar principles in how we make our decisions. And there was something you mentioned. You talked about your professor told you there was a position somewhere. You talked about mentors. So from what I can hear, mentors have played a big role in your life. Can you tell me more about that? And and if you can share more, if you deliberately seek those mentors or it just happened?
I think I was lucky because it just happened.
Okay.
But
you were lucky twice.
Yeah, I got lucky twice. Maybe thrice now.
Okay.
But I think I, as a person, I always look up to a lot of people, and I'm like, when I really look up to them, I'm like, okay, I want to stick with this person, and I want to learn as much as I can from this person.
Yes.
Like squeeze all that knowledge.
That line reminds me of somebody.
So when I joined my new company, I'm generally a very shy person. I'm an introvert.
Yes.
But I can prove myself with my work.
Okay.
And that's something that my mentor has highlighted to me quite a few times. They're like, you do an absolutely fantastic job when it comes to, delivering everything that you have to do.
Yeah.
But you need to speak up, and shout out about your achievements. And I'm like, yeah, that's still that's a struggle still.
Yes, yes.
But with my mentor when I joined, and the funny part is what they teach you in university compared to what actually happens on the job is completely different.
Yeah.
Because they teach us to write press releases in a very traditional way. And that's something we do in PR every single day.
Yeah.
And when I joined my job, my first press release, I kid you not, there were 2 words of mine. 2. And it's like 500 words. And I'm like, oh my God. And he was really nice about it. He's like, that's completely fine. Because this is how they taught you, but this is
not how it happens in the real world.
It does not happen like that. Yeah. And he used to take out time every week to just sit down with, not just me, with all the newcomers. And now that I look at it, for a director, that's a huge sacrifice to actually remove that much time, like 30 minutes.
Oh, that's a lot. Every week.
Every week,
yeah.
For every single newcomer, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
But he would sit down with us and he would ask us what went well, what's something that you did not know and you learned, what's something where you want to grow.
Yeah.
And we would talk to him and he would, actually guide us. He's like, you can do this in a certain way. You know, this is a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
So that way it shaped a lot in terms of my career. I learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
And even when I moved on to my new job, I was still in touch with him where I'm like, what do you think of this?
Right.
Like, is this the right way to do something?
Yes.
And also for me as a person, I am very underconfident.
Oh, you're not confident?
Not confident at all.
Okay.
Like when I do my work, I'm really proud of it and I know that my work is good, but as a person to like present it, I'm like,
why?
Jitters.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's just over time. I've not really presented a lot.
Oh, you have not?
I've not presented a lot. So I still have those.
Yeah, everybody has it.
Yeah.
No, look, I speak at events. I've spoken, I can't count how many universities I've spoken at. I can't count how many, because I speak at events, I teach, but I still have it. Right. And I'm an extrovert. So I think it's normal to have those, to feel, just a little bit of, and then it's just, I reframe it. I say, oh, I'm very excited.
That's actually a good way. No, I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
For me, it's the imposter syndrome. I'm like, I don't deserve to be here.
No, if you do the work, then you deserve. If they called you, you deserve to be there.
Yeah, but again, it's also like there's so many people who could have been here, sort of.
But you're the one who's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to wrap my head around that fact.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
Then don't think about it. No, it's easier done.
Really?
Yeah, don't think about it. Just think about, and I'm not trying to make you conceited, but just think about it. That I did this work and I'm going to go tell people about the work that I did. And I'm very excited about going to tell people about how I feel. I may feel jittery, but it's all from excitement. Oof.
Yeah. It takes a beat for me to, just get onto that positive note.
Just do it. Just let go. Just do it. Just let go. The thought is still going to come, but you just have to let go and think of, it's your work you're presenting. It's not someone else's work, right?
True.
So if I write a paper and I give it to you, I'm like, Ghazala, go present this, then I'm being unfair to you, right? Then you can have imposter syndrome. But if you did the work, girl, it's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yours. I remember I went somewhere. I went to Mayo Clinic is one of the biggest clinics in the US, right? And I got there, I was going to help the doctors with their medical record system, because I used to teach physicians how to use EHR and all of that. And then I got there, they introduced me. We have Dr. Isumeme here. She has a master's, she has a PhD. She's going to come fix our system. And then there was a lady close to me. I was like, those are big shoes. And she told me, those are your shoes. Right. So I was like, oh yeah, that's really me. All they said about me is true, right? Same thing with you. So tell me, because it seems you've been able to work with mentors, right? Yes. So what characters, what traits do you think people need to possess? Because there's some people who would reach out to me, I'm happy to mentor them. And there's some people who reach out to me, I'll just leave the text hanging. I'm not even going to respond. So what traits do you think people need to possess for people who are higher up to want to really mentor them? How did you do that? That you can still reach out to your boss and your ex-boss and he responds to you. Your professor told you about a position. So it's something that you've gotten lucky twice. And I don't believe in luck. I believe in principles. So there are some principles you might be operating in that you're not even aware of. So what do you think?
I think it is to do your work with a sincerity.
Sincerity.
To actually show that you want to be here and you mean it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I'm just here because I want to pass time.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that my professor and both my ex-boss saw at that time.
Yeah.
Because okay, I have this story.
Tell me.
So we had this campaign. So in the PR world, every month or so we have campaigns, which technically can be influencer campaign or just a media campaign. So an influencer campaign would be that a brand is launching a product, or they just have a new messaging or a new theme going around.
Right.
And in order to activate the campaign, they partner with 10 influencers or 15 influencers based on whatever the requirement is.
Right.
And generally for a barter campaign, we would send the products from the brand to the influencers, and the influencers in exchange for the products would talk about the whole campaign, and it wouldn't really be scripted. It's just like, I'm trying this out, or give an honest review about it.
Correct.
And generally, to make any campaign work, it takes at least 4 weeks lead time.
Yeah.
Because we would say, here are the 10 influences that we think would be good for the brand. The brand would come back and be like, no. So you go back, you give them a list of maybe 40 more.
Oh.
And then they would pick like 4, 5.
Oh.
So you have a lot of back and forth before you even reach the 10.
Gotcha.
So once you have those 10, you then reach out to the influencers, and the influencers have complete right to say no.
Oh.
So if they say no, you again fall short.
Oh my God.
So it is a lot of
back and forth.
Yeah, to just get down to those 10.
10. I had no idea.
And if it's a bigger number, then you go crazy.
Yeah.
So I remember this time where we were working with male influencers, and it was 15. And touch wood, it was, I think, my first, I wouldn't say solo campaign, but I took complete onus of this. I took complete responsibility because I'm like, I'm going to lead this.
Yeah. Oh, so you opted to lead it?
Yeah, because the previous 2, I completely supported them, and I'm like, okay, now I know how it works.
Right.
So I'm like, this one, let me do it.
Yeah.
And I think 2 weeks before, we had everything locked in, 15 influencers, and these were male influencers, which are much more
difficult to
find. Yeah. We had everything locked in, everything was set.
Yeah.
And then the brand goes ahead and they're like, we are going to change the messaging of the campaign.
See, I'm already getting upset for you.
Okay. And they changed the messaging to Father's Day at that time.
Okay.
So it went from a normal styling campaign to a Father's Day campaign.
Okay.
And this was literally a week before.
And did all these 15 men, were they all fathers?
No, it was okay if they were not fathers, because you can talk about your father.
Okay.
So we reached out to all of them, and this is right after COVID, right?
Yeah.
And I kid you not, out of the 15 influencers, 7 of them said, we're really sorry, we love the campaign, but our fathers just recently passed away during COVID.
Oh, all of them?
7 of them.
7 of them?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. I mean, you can't really push or be like.
Although there's another angle you could have used, like you say, yeah, but because it's so sensitive, you won't want to push. Because you could say, why don't you talk about your loving father who passed? But at the same time, it's too sensitive.
It's too sensitive. So we, like with a few of them, we did ask, like, is there something that you maybe want to talk about, like as an ode to their memory or something, like past.
Yeah.
Like, no. And we completely respect it. But that's not a boundary that I would push and
no,
be like...
No, you don't want to. That's too sensitive. Yeah.
I think out of the list of 15, 4 of them agreed.
Yeah.
And they went ahead with it. The others were like, no, it's a last minute change.
Yeah.
And it does not align with my profile or something or the other. And I'm like, you know what, I respect it, because as an influencer, your page is your currency.
Yes.
So if it does not align, it does not align. I respect it.
Right.
And well, technically the campaign didn't really succeed as we wanted it to, but the brand understood, the team understood that it was completely circumstantial, and I took it to my heart. Like, I'm like, this is personal failure. And I was so sad. And there was a Friday in my office where I was generally on Fridays we work from home.
Yeah.
So it was just me, I think one other team member and the director.
Yeah.
And I think he looked at me, he's like, do you want to have a chat? And I'm like, sure. And he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Like the first time he asked, I'm like, fine. He's like, there's something that's not okay. He's like, what happened? And then I started crying. I'm like, this is, and I told him, this is during my internship, by the way. It's like literally 6 months into my internship.
Oh, that was.
And I'm like, I don't want to work in PR anymore. I don't think I'm cut out for this. I don't even know how to handle an influencer campaign. And he's like, okay. Like first he was shocked because he's like, what on earth?
Yeah, he didn't. Well, he did ask.
He did ask, but I don't think
he was expecting that. Yeah,
like a full blown,
yeah, like just like
a meltdown.
Yeah,
and he was really nice. And he's like, okay, calm down. And he's like, one campaign or one brand does not really define who you are.
No, it doesn't.
And then he's like, you do good work on this. Because at that time, I think I used to work across 6 other brands as well.
Yeah.
And it was just one lifestyle and the other were tech and hospitality, one of them, yeah. So he's like, you do this on this, this on this, this on this, and you're fantastic, and people love you, and your clients love you. It's like just one bad influencer campaign does not really define who you are. And I'm like, no, it does. And I'm like, this is the end of it. I don't know how to do things. And I think it was just 15 minutes of me sitting there crying and crying. And he's like, okay. Like, are you fine?
So you think like you just being authentic, you being real, it makes it easy for people to mentor you.
To be honest about where you are and to do work with sincerity actually helps. I know I just...
Oh, I love that story. Yeah.
But this was... sorry, let me come back to it. But just putting your heart into your work. Because now I've understood to draw a line, to not make it too personal.
Yeah.
To understand that failures come with every aspect of your job, but to still care about it.
Correct.
And once you care about it, it shows.
Yeah.
Like it always shows.
It always shows. You don't have to... People can tell when you give it your best, and it has nothing to do, because you can give it your best and still fail because of circumstances beyond your control or from inexperience for whatever reason. But as long as it's your best you're giving, people can tell that you're truly giving your best. And so you think that's your secret sauce for getting good mentors?
Yeah, I think just being sincere and honest and like giving your best.
Yeah,
people see right through it.
You're right. So let's switch gears a little bit. You ready?
Sure.
So you were talking about influencers.
Yeah.
So when people negotiate, it's all about influencing people, right? And the influence, it comes in various forms. It comes in various degrees. Sometimes you influence to get more, and in the process of you trying to get more, you also give more. Some people would say, no, they just want to get. Some people would say, they want to give more. So it varies. So when you want to influence people, so how do you go about it?
I think for me, it's always been with logic, data, stats. We're technically the middle person between two parties at all times.
Yeah.
So we can't really play with emotions or any of that. We have to tell them that these are the facts. You know, like one of you has to budge.
Yeah.
Because I can be all emotional. In a personal setting, I can be emotional.
Yeah.
Like with my family, I can be like, use my empathy and all of that. But when it comes to two parties, and mind you, these two parties also have somebody that they're reporting into.
Gotcha.
So they're not the end person.
Right.
So even them, they are restricted. We are restricted. And the person we're talking to, we're all restricted. So in circumstances like this, we go with actual facts, data, and stats. We're like, this is what the industry is like.
Yeah.
This is what the current rate is. This is what's happening right now. And if you want something from an influencer, you would have to budge and either give this or give that.
Right.
And they understand that, because we're not really making up stories. We're not like, oh, please do this, it's a favor. Because they can do a favor once or twice. They
but
can't
not
really,
consistently.
Not consistently, because again, they have to report that to their directors, to the whole group that they're reporting into.
Do you think if you were dealing with if you were not the middleman, you were dealing, it was you were the decision maker and you're dealing with another decision maker, do you think you guys could negotiate in a different way? You could put emotions into play. Do you think that could be different?
Yes. I think if it was just I was the decision maker, I could use emotions. But if I'm not the decision maker, there's no emotions involved.
Right. Because if you use emotions, so there's a middleman, you use emotions, and then that person gets emotional, but then maybe when they go to the decision maker, they don't know how to play that emotion in that place, and then they look stupid. Right? Because most emotional decisions are not like the smartest decisions we would ever make. So for an influencer who usually takes a certain amount, and then you kind of manipulate the person into taking something less, and then into maybe their agent, and the agent goes back to the influencer and he says, what were you thinking? No, this is what we take. And then the person goes, oops.
Yeah. I mean, and plus, you're going to work with that influencer again.
Correct.
So you can't.
You don't want to Oh, so that's the power of relationships.
Yeah. So it's just always that. And I think if you're honest and straightforward with them, and most of the times, or not most of the time, sometimes it does not work, they respect it.
Right.
Because they're like, this person is not going to, bullshit their way around it. They're going to actually give us what's really wanted.
Yeah.
And it would be, maybe 10-15% away
from the mark.
From the mark. But they know what they're getting into. There's clear set instructions for both parties, and it goes smooth.
Yeah.
Because if it does not, then the mess that happens afterwards is a bigger nightmare. So you just stick with.
Because I believe that when you negotiate, sometimes it's not about what you get now, it's the relationship which you've built that you can always tap into.
Yes.
It
is the relationship.
But what about with your friends? Because you are part of a
podcast with people.
So just so your podcast, you guys are like 8 people.
Yes.
Right. And so that's a big team, and you guys are all like executives at that level. And you guys are about the same age.
Yeah, we're all the same age. I would say 22 to 25, all of us.
Yes. Yeah. And so you guys are young, you're the same age. There's really no like boss per se, though you guys have different lines of reporting and all of that. Go ahead.
No, we don't really have different lines of reporting. I think right now it's very straightforward, where I take care of social media with my friend Guhesh.
Yeah.
The editing part is taken care of by Bakar. The guest outreach is given to Adi. So it's all...
So everyone has like responsibilities.
Yeah, it's all individual, and we have maybe like a common page that we come back to with, this is what's happening, this is where the updates are.
Yeah.
But we don't really report into each other, so there are not as many clashes. It touch wood, works fine.
Yeah.
I know 8 people sounds crazy, because 8 people is technically a team that you would have to manage, but for us so far
it's been smooth.
It's been smooth.
So what do you think would be, because having 8 people, how long have you guys worked together? About 2 years?
2 years, but I think all 8 of us together would be 1 year.
Okay, 1 year is quite... And when you guys started, so the number has gradually increased. So it's been, how long have you been with the podcast?
I have been probably a year and a half.
Right. So what do you think is the glue that's holding you guys together? Because some marriages do not even last a year. They don't last 6 months, right? And this is now a group of 8 people, and you are all hosting the podcast, right? So what do you think is the glue that's holding
us together?
Yeah.
I think all of us see the value in the podcast.
Yeah.
So for us, it's that all of us want to meet a few people. We want to learn from them. It's just that value or that messaging. All of us see it, and we stick together no matter what.
Right.
Because all of us get something out of it.
So it's the same. So it's the same.
It's what we get.
So you guys have like a similar value system.
Similar value system. Yeah.
You want to be very successful, so you're trying to learn from people and all of that. Do you think that? So the podcast thing you've been doing, how much growth have you experienced just by being in this podcast?
For me as a person, it's definitely been massive growth for sure, because. A year ago, if you had asked me, hey, do you want to come on a podcast? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like a mic with me and a camera? No. Like I'm behind the stage. I'm really behind the stage. Like that's where I am.
You're PR. You're representing people. You're pushing people forward. Yeah.
But I wouldn't want the publicity on me.
Yeah.
Like absolutely not.
Yeah.
So just that, breaking that barrier was huge. And the way it happened was also funny, because I am a person who makes impulsive decisions. Not always, but
I can't even imagine you making impulsive decisions.
That's how I was there supporting my friend Abu Bakr when he was doing his podcast.
Yeah.
So they had 2 guests that day. So the first guest was done and I saw how it went. And the second guest was coming in and they were like really tired. They're like, we still have another guest, and this is I don't want to take the guest name.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what he does. And I'm like, yeah, I can do it.
Oh.
I have no idea.
You know what? Maybe if they had told you, oh, do you want to do it? You would have said no.
No, I would have definitely said no.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, absolutely not. But I was like, yeah, it's just asking questions. How bad can it be?
Yeah.
And
how bad can it be, right?
How bad can it be? It's just, you know, and I sort of looked through the person's LinkedIn. I had all the questions. I'm like, sure. And when I did it, I actually liked the whole asking the questions, getting to know, because, you know, when they're talking, I'm like, oh, so how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do that?
Yeah.
Now I'm a little less enthusiastic.
Why?
Because I feel like I repeat myself with questions. I keep repeating it. It's almost the same answer. But that's a completely different conversation.
But I'm curious though. So you feel people give you the same answer?
Sometimes.
Give me one of the answers people give all the time.
I'll have to think about it. But I will definitely give you that.
Okay, so now you're no longer as enthusiastic as you used to be.
I am, but I'm trying to, you know, think of better questions.
I see.
So that we get the best out of
the guest.
The guest.
That shows that you've grown, right?
Yeah. And I think once that day was done, I was going to go home and be like, oh, that was good, you know, one time. And good. But then he added me on the group and he's like, welcome the new person. And it was too late to now be like, it was just an experiment, because that looks terrible. Like,
it does.
Like, did you just like host one guest
and then that's it?
Dip. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, somewhere down the line I can tell them that one was an experiment.
But here you are a year and a half after.
A year and a half later, I'm still hosting, and I'm like, yeah, I think now I'm just part of the team.
So what would you say is one of the biggest things you've learned from your guests? All the guests you've interviewed, what's the biggest thing that you've learned? Because for me, just from my podcast, I've learned so much because I talk to people about negotiation. It comes in different forms, right? Negotiation could come from how you handle things at home, how you ask your parents for stuff, how you ask your spouse for things, how you talk to your boss, or how you do a big deal in the C-suite, right? So it's all negotiation at different forms. So I've learned from all my guests. They are just amazing people. Even things that I know before, when they rephrase it, I'm like, wow, I didn't know I could put it this way, right? So what have you learned from your guests?
I think for me, and maybe this is viewing it from a personal lens, it's always that keep your imposter syndrome at home. Literally. Because they're all like, there are, of course, a lot of other people who are just like them.
Right.
But it's that doubt that keeps a lot of people back. And sometimes it's just believing in yourself.
So what I hear you say is that all the amazing people who you interview, they're all normal people, but they just believed in themselves.
They believed in themselves, yeah. It's just that belief that takes them a long, long way.
Yes.
Believe in hard work, of course.
Of course, yes.
But yeah, that belief, because I'm like, I do the hard work part, but I don't believe.
Yeah.
So they're like, just believe. So for me, that has so far been the biggest takeaway. And sometimes the stories, you know, there was this person who we interviewed, and she told us her whole story about backpacking back then, I think in the 90s.
Yeah.
And she was a solo female traveler. And I'm like, right now in this age, I still would, you know, be a little worried about going backpacking solo.
What's your fear?
To some other countries.
What's your fear?
I went to Saudi.
By yourself?
For the first 2 days, yeah, by myself. And I was like, the first day I was really worried, because I'm like, and the worst things that could happen in terms of my hotel cancelling on the same day.
What?
Like,
the hotel cancelled?
Yeah.
That's never happened to me, and I travel a lot.
And this was actually in Medina, which is one of the crowded cities. And I'm like, okay, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to figure it out no matter what, because I'm not sleeping on the streets.
No, you're not going to sleep on the streets of Medina.
I mean, I'll be kicked out. So
yeah.
I'm like, I'll figure it out. And I just knew that no matter what,
you're going to be
not
fine.
This hotel or the other,
right?
There's going to be a room.
Yeah.
So I just figured out that same day. I came back to Makkah and I was joined by a friend.
Okay.
So that was technically sort of solo travel.
Yes,
it was fine.
At least you did a few days by yourself. You were lost still. Only you got lost. Only you were homeless, and you figured it out. Yes. So for me, I like solo travels. It's different, right? When you travel with friends and loved ones, it's a different experience than when you go yourself. But why I love to travel by myself is that I wake up when I want to wake up. True. If I travel and I say I want to sleep till like 12, then I can sleep till 12. If I travel, I say I want to wake up at 7, go see sights, and I can go on my own. The only disadvantage is that you want to share experiences with someone, and if you're by yourself, then you just experience it by yourself. However, it also gives you the opportunity to make friends. Then then people you normally would not talk to, people you would not even see, you end up seeing them because you're not engrossed in that conversation with your friend or the person you went with.
True. I think the one negative quality that I found about myself is that when I travel with other people, I'm more reliant. Because
nothing wrong with that.
No, it's sometimes as simple as just going from your car to the boarding gate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know which gate. I would be.
I'm lost. I'm like that too.
I'm like tagging with my friends.
Yeah. So when I travel with my sisters, you wouldn't believe it's the same me who would have everything figured out, and it's different. I would just, my sister, there was a trip I went to recently with my sister to Mexico. She booked the hotel, she booked the flights, she looked for the flights and all of that. When the hotel was not good, she looked for another one, and this was me. I was just like, yeah, she's my big sister, I might as well, Exactly. But when I go by myself, it's different.
It is different, because I'm like, okay, this is where I have to go. Like, I'm actually paying attention.
You pay more attention, right? And I think it's also a good thing to learn how to rely on people.
True.
I think there should be a balance between knowing how to give and knowing how to receive. You can't be I personally do not want to be in control all the time. If there are people that I trust who can take care of me, by all means take care of me, nothing wrong with that. So you are in PR, right? So you do a lot of back and forth. So how does knowing how to read people, knowing how to communicate, how does that come into play? Because what you do, you may not realize it, you do a lot of negotiation day in, day out, just that you haven't given it that name. So how does communication and knowing how to read people and knowing how to use the right words, how does that come into play in your business?
I think for me, with the people that I deal with, or at least even the clients or influencers, when I joined in, I had a lot of other history that I could go through. That, I was sort of given like a profile of the client is so and so.
Yeah.
Like in a nice way, like this is the style of communication that they prefer. This is what, really appeals. This is something that they would never agree with. So it's something that I now try to apply with somebody new that I've met, to just read into what it is, that actually makes them happy. Something where a few things they instantly say yes. And a few they're like, oh, let us think. And I'm like, okay, that does not work with them. So it's just figuring out what it is that they like.
Yeah.
And what it is that they don't like.
Yeah.
And just every time you go to them, I start with the things that they like.
Yeah.
The opening and everything. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. This is this is that, this is that. And I think it would be amazing that, seeing all of these positive results, to actually do this as well. And they're more likely to actually even take it into consideration. It might not go ahead, but at least they'll take it into. And the next time that we go, they'll be like, that didn't work, but we could try something else. They
give you a record. They give you suggestion on how it could work.
Yeah, they give you the suggestion, because they're like, we've checked. They've actually taken the effort to check internally as to what works.
Yeah.
And this is a loophole or something that they found, and it matches. So how about we do that? So just having that history of what the person is like, in terms of what do they like, what are the words that they prefer, what appeals to them and what does not. So
how do you tease that out from a client you haven't met, you're just meeting for the first time, someone who you haven't worked with before? How do you tease out that's what their preference is?
That's an amazing question, because I think for me it's just when you start talking to them, you do figure out a few cues,
Right.
And I'm thinking of somebody who've met recently.
Yeah.
We're at a position where they completely trust me with taking the decisions, going ahead with it. And it has been in a way where I've shown them that when I deliver something, it actually works and it is the right way to go about it. It shows results, it's proven method. And the minute you have that trust, they kind of give you the free reins to a lot of things.
But how do you get that trust though?
Through your work.
Through your work. But then how do I tease out? So for example, you want to work with me, right? So how do you tease out what I like, what would appeal to me? Those first three things, how would you tease out? Do you go through their LinkedIn page? Do you look at the words they use? How do you do that?
Absolutely. I think I would go through a little bit of background as to what they've done previously.
I see.
What kind of, if possible, what kind of work they've done, what kind of work do they like,
and
just having a conversation with them it tells you a lot. Just even if it's like 5-10 minutes, you would get like a profile on them. Like you can make a sketch out of that person. And I think once you have that sketch and you know what they like, what they prefer, you can go ahead with it.
It becomes easier.
It becomes easier. I think once you meet somebody, you just know. I don't know.
You can put it into words how you know, but you know.
And I have so many images going on in my head of all the people that I've met recently, and trust me, they're like completely different personalities.
Of course.
But once you meet them and the way they talk, how they talk, and the ideas that they come up with, you know exactly what they like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the PR brain. So what's next for you? Are you going to continue with public relations, or you want to pivot to something different?
So for now, I prefer that I continue with public relations because, of course, it's a beautiful world when it comes to just seeing campaigns come to life. I absolutely love that. There are some moments, even sometimes now when you see an article that has gone live and you see it in print, it brings you a lot of happiness, because I just sit there sometimes and I look at it and I'm like, that's my work. That's me.
That's right.
I still have like magazines where one of my clients was featured. I just have them like on my desk, like in the drawers. And I'm like, that's my work.
Yeah.
And the sad part is not nobody, but like, it's not my name.
Right.
It's the client's name. But
it's your work.
It's my work.
Yeah, it is.
So
it is.
It doesn't really bring publicity to me, but it brings me a lot of happiness. Right. And I keep it.
Yeah, because your goal your goal is not necessarily to bring publicity to yourself. It's to bring the light on someone else. That's your job. And if the light is shining on your client, it means you've done a good job.
Exactly, and that makes me happy. And I think I'm going to continue in that field for a little longer.
Yeah.
Until I figure out what's next.
What's next? So what's your number one negotiation superpower?
I think, and I've developed this over time, is that I always look at any conversation from my perspective and the other person's perspective. At all times. Like even which is why it makes it difficult sometimes, because when I'm talking to somebody, or even if it's a normal conversation, I'm like, I don't get angry or I don't get upset, because I'm like, I see your point. So there's no point getting angry. There's no point getting upset, because I'm like, I see where you're coming from and you see where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So it's just having that view as to where they're coming from just helps a lot.
It does.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not helpful because I want to get angry, but I'm like, I can't get angry because I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah. But I think that's powerful. That's empathy you just described there, right? Because when you have empathy, so if you, and the person will not get angry with you, because you say, you know what, I see where you're coming from, and I hope you see where I'm coming from, and then it's now to figure out how can we meet each other halfway.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, that I know it's a one-word answer, but
no, but
that's
no, it's excellent. That's empathy it's a good trait to have, right? And it makes things work out for you faster. It may take more time in the initial stage, but it will make people trust you more because they know you're not selfish. You can actually see where they're coming from.
True.
So if, let's say, I want to believe you believe in God.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say God comes to you and says, hey, dear Ghazala, I have all these character traits and I want to gift you. You don't have to master the character trait. I just want to gift you a character trait. Which one would you ask him for?
Character traits.
Yeah.
Definitely confidence. I'm lacking big time. I'm like, I absolutely need that.
Yeah. What do you think you would do different if you had more confidence?
I would take a lot more risk.
Like which one have you not taken?
I would take a lot more risk, and I would be smart in terms of just speaking out, because I don't really do that much.
Oh, so you go to meetings and there are thoughts in your head, you don't say it out?
Yeah, sometimes, because I'm like, what if I'm wrong?
So what?
It's okay to be wrong, I know that, but I'm like, I still don't say it.
Yeah.
So if I was to be more confident, I think I would really speak out a lot more. I think I'm a good person.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go with kindness, honesty, loyalty, even though these are like really important to me.
But you think you have them already, right?
I already have them, and I hold them very close to me. So I'm like, there is no more filling that jar. Like it is with me.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be my one.
It would be confidence.
It would be confidence.
So you're working on confidence.
I am.
Yeah. So how are you working on it? So that my audience, those of my audience who's listening, who's also wanting to work on confidence, how they can also work on it just the way you are working on yours.
Maybe this is not the best advice, but I'm at a phase where I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? So it's just when you know that there is literally, I mean, there are a lot of things that can go wrong.
Of course.
And I'm like, you know what? If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like I've stopped caring about a lot of things.
Okay.
Which maybe is not the right way to go about it, but it's something that works for me.
I think it's the right way.
Really?
Of course. So let's say you want to go give a speech, right? You want to stand up and speak, and you stand up, you say, oh my God, what if the words do not come out right? What if I do not enunciate properly? What if I fall down? What if I'm just blank? But you say, I don't care.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's more like, so for me, when I go to speak, what helps me is I don't think about myself. I forget about me. It's just a message I think about. Like somebody needs this message and I focus more on the message. If I don't speak right, if I don't enunciate properly,
people will understand.
Yes, and if you don't understand, you can ask me again. You can say, can you say that again, right? I don't aim for perfection. I aim for excellence, right? So, and I know, it's a journey. It's a journey that's ongoing. We keep growing. I don't think I'll ever get to the stage where like
perfect.
Yes. And even though I am a good speaker, I still learn how to speak all the time. I join classes, right? I register for classes so I can still practice and get better and better. Sometimes I look at some of my videos, I'm like, why did I end my sentence? Why did I speak halfway, right? And then I'm like, okay, next time I would
do it better,
right? So that's just what it is.
Yeah, I think for me that's just something that works right now.
Yes. Okay, so my audience can also try that.
Yeah, just not care about anything. Like if it works, it works. If it does not work, we learn from it and we grow.
Yes. So maybe in a year when you come back on this podcast, you would ask for a different gift.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so you come back in a year?
Once, for sure. If you invite me, absolutely.
This is growth because, dear audience, you have no idea what it took for me to get Ghazala here. So what last words do you have for my audience?
Just, I don't think I have last words.
You do, Ghazala. Search deep inside and bring it out.
I think for me, the last words would be to take as many risks as you can while you can. Because that's the path that I'm on right now, and it's actually helping me a lot.
Yes.
So for anybody out there who wants to take risk, and just don't worry about the results, just do it.
All right. It's been a pleasure having you, Ghazala.
It's been a pleasure having you too, and thank you for making me feel so comfortable.
Of course. So for my guests, I have 3 call to action like we normally do. The first call to action is based on the advice Ghazala gave. So if you have some fears, you have some things you need to push through, just do it. What's the worst that could happen? If it's really bad, then don't do it. If you think the worst thing is something really bad, don't do it. But what we're trying to say is try to push yourself past your comfort level. So maybe this week, try to do something that would push you a little bit out of your comfort level. And then that way, the other week, you push yourself a little bit more. And then you gradually start developing the confidence you need to take risks. And then you know your strengths and your weaknesses as you try to do this. And then the second ask is, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Let's build a community of people who support each other, who help each other learn how to negotiate just by learning from each other's stories. And then last but not least, I strongly believe you have the potential to be great. So go be great. Thank you.